the cutting presents a pretty good challenge for, I'd say, both of us, didn't it? As far as you know, a normal cutting is 2.5 minutes, and you usually end up working 3 head of cattle. You know, so the way of the process of judging a normal 2.5 minute cow work is you judge the first cow, you judge the second cow. They start at 70. First cow, you're done with that. Second cow, you're done with that. You average the two. And then on your third cow, you either go up or down or you stay the same, depending on how they finish. And so you can move your score up and down. That last cow gives you that opportunity. Where on this, in this they have 2 minutes time limit, and you work 2 head of cattle. So the process changes a little bit to where you have 2 of them, and you average the 2, and that's where your score comes up. So it's a little bit, it's difficult for me because sometimes I have a score in my mind and I'm having a hard time getting there. And then you get the horses like in these that are interesting is you have 1 bad cow and 1 really good cow. And so then you average those 2 out, you know, say you got a 3 and a 69, you know, so your average would be 71. And I don't have a problem with that, except if you get 4 or 5 of them the same, then you got to go to your tiebreakers on all of them, and you want to think that you can judge better than that. You know, I always think if I have too many ties, I always question myself whether I'm watching, am I focused enough, or why am I getting so many ties? You know, am I watching enough, or am I seeing what really happens, or am I just thinking that's what's, you know, I've in the cutting discipline, I've been, you know, of course you're judged 100 works, and I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, well, I got that first cow on a 72. So I look down here on my herd work, and all I can get is a check, you know, a 0 in that case, you know. I look on controlling a cow, he's just average. I look on degree of difficulty, he's average. I look on eye appeal, he's average. I'm thinking, the 72 wasn't right. The sheet wouldn't allow me to mark him. It was a 70 as that first cow, so it keeps you in the game that way. And so here, you have numbers you got to put in there. How good are they when they're good? And you got four places on each cow that you can mark, plus you got a courage box over there all by itself. So you put the courage on each cow. Do you put the courage at the end? You put, you know, so I use that courage box a little bit to my advantage. If the second cow had courage and the first one didn't, I'll probably put a 0 on the top on the first cow, so they know that my half came on the second cow. Does that make sense?
And so what would you consider courage for a herd work? What
courage is making a good cut when it's, you know, a credit cut has risk, and it looks real smooth, and you end up cutting in the center. So it has to have a little risk, and risk to me on a cut means you either commit earlier, you tell the judge, this is the one I'm going to cut, and he's amongst a bunch of cattle, and you get him cut, and he's in the center. That's credit. That's courage. It takes courage to do that. If you stop going forward and you stall out like this and you cut the last man standing, that's not courage. You can't get any credit there. But that's other parts of courage are staying on a bad cow when they get to the fence and wait until he gets in the center before you get off. That's courage. So I want to get on him, but I want to tell him where I did it too. You know, if he did it on the second cow, but he didn't do it on the first, I'd have a 0 and then a credit on the second one. So there's different ways of marking that sheet is my point.
Getting courage. Getting
courage, yeah. So it's important to put down what actually happens. Stay on the, you know, Don Dodge always used to stay on the high side if the rules and what you see will let you, you know, which we don't seem to have a problem staying on the high side, you know, and see if you can't separate them. If you can't, we use our tiebreaker. This is just real simple, you know. So, but those those things, I'm always looking at it, because you'll get, in a big class, you'll get a lot of them that are pretty much the same. And so you want your scorecard, I do, to try and help me separate them
Sort it
and
out.
come up with the right score. So that's the function with the 2 cows. That's the way I see that it functions, so. Anyway,
Yeah, the 2 cows is a little different.
It's different.
It's
it's
just different.
Yeah, yeah. So Bill Riddle, who's a cutting horse guy and a good one, he says to even try for credit, you have to do 3 things, and they're real generic. He says you got to cut them clean, cut the cattle clean, stay even on the cow, and quit clean. Those are pretty basic, but if you want credit, you have to basically do those 3 things. Stay even on a cow, cut clean, and quit clean. Then you got a chance for credit.
It sounds easy.
Yeah, sounds easy, but it isn't. Okay, let's run one, and we'll back it up and run it twice, and then we'll talk about it, huh?
Okay, so I guess first rule, and the first thing that I would be thinking of is he's entered the herd to make a deep cut.
Right.
And again, Bill taught me a long time ago that you say, got to make a deep cut, got to make a deep cut.
Yeah.
Here, and maybe could you just stop that for a sec, or even run it back. But the other thing is, I'm going to be like, okay, he can cut any cow,
Yeah.
any cow, just to make sure that I'm focused, so that first of all, I know he's made a deep cut, and then secondly, I'm ready to call the switch if all of a sudden he can cut any cow, he can cut any cow, he can cut any cow, he's committed, he switched.
That's a really good exercise.
Just like the reining, and if you do that every time,
Yes.
then your
That's
chances.
really a good
chances of
that
missing
you
it.
forget about, you know. But when they come in there and you're half not thinking about it, all of a sudden you say, did he switch? That's a terrible feeling. Huh? So without a video, that's really a bad feeling because you don't know, you know. So
Run it back just a moment.
but I like that's really good. I'd forgot, but that's a good exercise.
Yeah, you're the one that told me that.
I know.
Okay, so he's coming up through the herd. He's going forward. He hasn't committed. It's any cow. He can cut any cow. Any cow. Now he's committed to that cow.
Yeah.
And he makes a good credit-earning cut.
Yeah.
He's going forward the whole time. So I had +1 on the cut.
Okay.
Now this horse is a little bit like the horse we saw in the boxing a second ago, or the driving. He gets elevated a little bit, but he's trying to cow. He's holding the cow. There's no penalties. He's trying to be a cutting horse. And again, it looks a little different. He quits legally. The cow's going away. So
Let's hold it right there for a minute.
on the control of the cow, I'm +1/2.
Okay.
On degree of difficulty, I'm +1/2.
Okay.
On eye appeal, I'm +1/2.
Okay.
So
So-
on that cow, I'm 72.5.
Okay. So let's do our. We didn't do our tiebreaker. Let's do that real quick. Let's just do 2 tiebreakers. Where would we put them?
My first tiebreaker would be controlling the cow
Okay. On the first cow.
on the first cow.
And second one would be here?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And
So
if
we'd fill those all in, but those would be the one.
And if I had my third one would be the first herd work, making the cut.
Okay.
My second one would be the second
Okay.
herd work.
Okay. So we probably have enough, but you know, you'd want to fill them all in.
That's how I would do that.
Okay.
Because those cuts are so important in then doing the cutting.
So here we got a 72.5, and your courage, do you have anything on the courage on that one? No.
No.
Let's just put a courage there so we know that first cow, there wasn't it, so this is our score, 72.5 on the first cow, okay? All right. So we're starting now again at 70. Brand new deal.
Yep. And again, he's already made his deep cut, so we don't have to be saying that. But now, again, I'm going to say, okay, any cow, any of those 5 or 6 cows right there, he can cut. Now he's committed to this one. Okay, again, he's coming forward. The cow's going up. To me,
Credit?
credit
Okay.
+1/2.
+1/2.
I believe the horse is a little better, cow's a little better, the second cow. Looks real good. Now kind of gets off whack there and finishes poorly. So it was good and then it was bad.
Do you think that we have to assume the buzzer went off, don't we? Mm-hmm. Because he quit.
He quit.
In a compromising position. Would you back that up a little bit and let's see? You know, isn't he? Did he? So
Had the buzzer not went off, then he's got a hot quit.
Yes, exactly. That was my point. So the buzzer had to go off, or it'd have been a hot quit.
Yep.
Right. So okay. So with all that into consideration, you know, that's the hardest thing about judging herd works, cutting. You got 2 cows, you got 2 cuts, you got 2 controls, all these things, and most of the time they're totally different. So let's see what we got
So
here.
I was +1/2 on the herd work,
Okay,
+1/2 on controlling the cow,
okay,
0 on degree of difficulty, and
Okay.
a 0 on eye appeal
okay.
for 71.
Do you have any courage?
No.
Okay. So we got a 0 on courage. So we got a 71.
71.
71. So our average would be,
I went up to just
you went up to a
72.
72. Okay, so you went up, boop, like this. I'd do that. 72 is my score. You're really, you know, the true middle of that would be a 1 and
71 and 3/4.
7500s or something. But, so you go up. So you got a 72, and we can prove it, huh? Good score. Okay. Next, we'll run it a couple times, and we'll talk about it. Those are good.
Is if they cut 2 cows, lose a second cow, well, I'll ask it on, I need to ask it, I guess,
Okay, wait.
on
that's
camera. But what it's gonna be is if they've, on the second cow, they lose it, then they go back in for a third one. Just want clarification that that is an OP
They're done.
because they've cut,
Yeah, you got to blow them out.
blow the whistle.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay, here this horse enters the herd, and again, he has fulfilled the deep cut requirement. He comes out very aggressively, he's driving his cow, but now all of a sudden, his cow's got turned and coming back at him, and to me, that's a bad cut, and it causes now a bad control of the cow, or poor. Both of those things are poor. He never really got control. He was always a little bit behind, not enough so that he got a penalty of a miss, but enough that he was always behind.
Todd, can we stop it for a minute? So to not contradict you, I agree with you. These things here would help me on my score. So he does. So what did we do on his cut?
So I was a -1/2 on his first
-1/2,
cut.
and that created all this. And so controlling the cow, did you think it was that he got far enough out of position to where he would have 1 point loss of working advantage, or he was a little late all the time, which is in the control box? Or?
I felt like he was just a little late all the time because,
Okay.
as you said, it takes, what, 2 strides to have to catch up to really get an A?
I've always understood that, I don't want to pick on him. He's late, certainly, but he never goes more than 2 strides before he gets back in working advantage. So he's a little bit late, but he does it 2 or 3 times. I would not only hurt the control, but I would take all of those latenesses and put 1 working out of position, and that would cover me. So
C.
you see, what I mean? So
Yep.
I would put a C here, and that would cover all those lates, plus this is a what? A
-1.
-1. So now I'm okay with that, whatever the rest of them shuck out to be. So degree of difficulty,
0.
0, because he never got there. How do you know? Huh?
And -0.5 for I appeal.
-0.5 for I appeal. So our first cow and our courage is it 0?
Yep.
So I 0 the courage. What do we got? We got a 1 penalty total. So we got a 1-point penalty. We got a 68.5, 68 with a 1-point penalty, 67.
67.
It's a good score for that cow.
So why don't you explain to them, like if he would have lost that cow, explain how you would put that average in there, because you do it differently
Oh,
for
okay.
a loss.
Well, if you have a 3 or a 5, you take it off at the end. You take it off of your average at the end. So you would have these marks, plus you would have, say, a loss of, say, a horse losing a cow right here. My score would still be 67, but I hadn't taken this off yet. So at the end, when I average these, then I take this off.
Yep.
That's the proper way. That's what they do in the NCHA, so I would probably do the same thing here. Huh? You take that off. It allows your scores to be a little bit higher. Because if you got that out, you took 5, this would be a 62. That's a pretty low average. You know, so anyway, but you can't forget that he lost the cow.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, that's a
Okay.
good question. So now, second cow.
Now he comes up through this herd, and again, he's going forward. And really, right now, he's committed to this cow. So that, again, is a high degree of difficulty, and we're going to give him credit for that cut,
Okay, half?
half. So this cow is working much better. This horse is really doing a very good job of controlling this cow. He's getting even on both sides, as Bill said earlier, which is important in receiving credit. So he's stopping this cow on each side. He's worked this cow for a long time, which again could be a
Courage.
cause for courage.
Yes, sure. So controlling the cow,
Controlling the cow, a 1,
okay. Degree of difficulty,
half. I appeal 1,
okay,
and courage a half.
half. Okay, so that courage goes with this cow. Because I've already, so that's pretty good, huh? So we got 1, 2, 3 and a half. 73 and 1/2. So our average is a 70 and a half. So your question is, do you want to go up on your average or go to the 70?
I went up,
You went up, 71.
71.
Okay.
A lot because of the courage on the,
And you don't have to go up.
Right.
You could have left him right there.
Right.
But what's a 70? You know, it's a 70 and a quarter is what it is, huh? So we're probably that's a 70 and a quarter. So 71, I'd probably go up, you know, just to make it round.
he had a lot of courage on
Yeah.
that last cow,
Stayed a
stayed
long
on a
time.
long time,
Sure.
cut it well, showed courage there.
Sure, that's good. But anyway, so if he lost one on the first cow, now I would take it off of this and my score would be 66.
Yep.
That's how it works, 66. We can prove it. So now where are we going? What's our next one? Huh?
Draw 6, Tanner.
Oh yeah, here we go. This is it. Okay, you guys go ahead and mark it and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, so again, he's fulfilled the deep cut requirement. And here he's committed to this black cow right there. He kind of got tangled up. If he'd eased up, maybe let that cow go off, he might have had a better cut. So I'm minus a half on the first cut. But now this horse comes back and works his cow very, very well with a loose rein. And he's making a lot of turns. He's controlling it. He's even, and he quits well. So I have a one, control the cow +1. I have a degree of difficulty +1 and eye appeal +1.
Do you want to do anything with courage?
No, I think I give him enough there.
Okay. 2.5. Huh? 72.5?
72.5.
Okay.
Actually, I did give him a +0.5 on the courage.
Yeah, I thought so too. We're going to have him at a 3
At a 3.
and a +0.5. Because, he put his hand down, didn't bring it up. That's courage to do that. Not, it's easy. If they do this, they put it down and they do this, then the courage goes away. But if you leave her down there, when the slugging gets a little tough, to me that takes courage, or you got to be stupid, one of the two. Yeah? You got your choice. You got your choice.
Okay, and he's going to step up through this herd. And he gets a hold of this cow real early, and again, I'm going to give him a little courage there and a +0.5. And again, this horse is working very well. Stops his cow. Stopping really well, moving with the cow really well. Whoops. For some reason, this has a little break. I don't get him 1 point A, but now because of that, I feel like he's working out a position here, a little too far over here on our right-hand side. So he was consistently working off on the right-hand side of the cow.
So you want to put a 1 point C?
A 1 point C.
That covers from when he kind of stalled out to staying over there. All that took that all in.
All of that.
And so our herd work was a +0.5.
Yep. Control the cow -1.
-1. So we've addressed that part right there, haven't we? So okay, degree of difficulty
+0.5.
+0.5.
Yep.
And eye appeal
0.
0. Any courage?
No.
Nope. So we got, what do we got here? We got 70, 69, right? 69 and a 73, the average is 71. So we got a tie, 71, right?
71.
So we go to our tiebreaker. So 71, you got 2 tied, we go to this, we got a 1, and we got a half. So this one here goes to he breaks the tie. That's the way that works, huh? We good with that? Works. That way you don't have to manufacture something that didn't happen to get them away from a tie. You just use your tiebreaker. That's what spreads it. That's why you put that down. And that
Cool.
And then these are true scores then. They're not buffed up, beefed up, whatever,
You
so
don't have to flip the coin.
you don't have to flip, none of that. So you got the tiebreaker. We got one more to do. Which one did we do?
We did 7.
7? One more?
Okay, we made a deep cut. He's stepping right up here, probably a little too fast, so he doesn't clear himself. And now he's got to cut this cow. Now this is a chance where things get fast and get ugly because he's got traffic in the way. So again, that's going to be a poor cut, below average, minus half.
Okay.
And this cow's just kind of rolling back fence to fence. He's not controlling it. The cow's kind of dictates where the horse is going. So on our control of the cow, I'm a minus half. On the degree of difficulty, I'm a 0. On the eye appeal, I'm a 0.
Any
And
courage?
0.
No. Okay.
Okay?
Yep. So we're 69.
Okay. Okay, we're stepping up here again through the flow of the cattle. Now you see these cattle, they've got started back towards the back fence, so it puts him in a more precarious position. He would be in a better spot if he had those cattle, if he was cutting them going away. Again, he's kind of mucked up in traffic, and so I'm on another poor cut. And again, this cow is traveling back and forth across the arena, and that's the end of the work. So again, what I meant by the cut was I would like to cut those cattle going away from me towards the judge's stand. That way I can get up, I can get out, and I can get that cow cut quietly. And he did not either time. Those cattle were rolling around, and you put yourself in a bad spot.
Okay. Controlling the cow.
Minus half.
Degree of difficulty.
0.
Okay. Eye appeal.
0.
Okay. Courage.
0.
Okay. I got a 68.
68.
I mean, I got a 60, excuse me, I got a 69 on that cow. So my
60
average would be 69.
69.
69. You okay with that?
Yep.
He really didn't do much. He didn't have much time worked on the second cow,
No.
you know? And, but that's what the sheet tells us. I think it's good. We got a winner, huh? We got a tiebreaker.
Yeah,
and we
I
got
think
a
like
low.
what we talked about, we didn't really have a run in this herd work that you could really jump on and get up there like we
Yeah.
had in several of the other events.
Yeah.
So, you know, it kind of leaves you flat, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
And so that's
I think
that's
you know,
reality too.
there was certain cows with these two that were really good. Mm-hmm. But
But
other
there was
ones
only
were-
one.
Yeah. And then this one here, he was the cleanest on both of them. That's how he got there. And then the other one, he didn't get anything done. So
Yep.
that's really the only way you could do it, huh?